Battlefields are constantly evolving, leading countries around the world to pump hundreds of billions of dollars each year into their armed forces in a race to develop the most advanced training, technology and weaponry. As of 2020, the following 10 armies are the most powerful, based on a rank given to them after looking at how they compare in categories ranging from military might and financials to logistical capability and geography. Here are the 10 most powerful armies in 2020. 10. Brazil. The Brazilian Army is the land arm of the Brazilian Armed Forces. The Brazilian Army has fought in several international conflicts, mostly in South America during the 19th century. In the 20th century, it fought on the Allied side in World War I and World War II. While recently taking the 10th spot overtaking the Turkish army, their military strength index is rapidly increasing. With an annual spending of over $27 billion, it's a heavy price to pay for over 1.7 million military personnel with 337,000 in active duty and 1.3 million in reserve. The air power strength of the Brazilian Army is quite a force to be reckoned with a total of 43 fighter jets, 332 helicopters and 24 special mission military aircraft. Storming the land on Brazilian soil with their over 2,000 armored vehicles, 781 rocket projectors ready to deploy at a moment's notice. The Brazilian Naval Forces hosts more than 40 naval ships. 9. Egypt. The Egyptian Armed Forces are the state military organization responsible for the defense of Egypt. They consist of the Egyptian Army, Egyptian Navy, Egyptian Air Force and Egyptian Air Defense Forces. Egypt is ranked 9 of 138 out of the countries considered for the annual GFP review. It holds a power index rating of 0.1872. The annual military budget for the Egyptian Armed Forces estimates around $11 billion to upkeep 920,000 military personnel, 440,000 in active duty and 480,000 in reserve. The total air strength of the Egyptian Army revels around 215 fighter jets, 463 helicopters and 11 special mission military aircraft. The mock firepower of the Egyptian land forces consists of their 11,000 armored vehicles inactive alongside their 4,000 plus tanks and more than 4,000 rocket projectors. 8. The United Kingdom. The United Kingdom was once well known for its immense size under the name of British Empire. For hundreds of years, it has its colonized territories all over the world. Until today, its military rank is still on the top 8th rank of the top 10 best list. The United Kingdom has the total population of 66.5 million people, with more than 225,000 in active service and 83,000 reserve personnel. It measures its annual GDP to be more than $2.5 trillion, with a GDP per population of $45,741. For the United Kingdom, it has spent approximately $55 billion annually to support its military power, including strengthening the base and firepower. In addition, it has the power index in the rank 8, with a score of 0.1717. The British Land Forces consists of more than 200 tanks, 5,000 armored vehicles, almost 90 self-propelled artillery, 126 towed artillery and 35 rocket projectors. British airspace is guarded by 133 fighters jet, 15 attack craft, more than 350 helicopters and attack choppers and 28 special mission aircraft. The Royal Navy has an estimated of 88 naval assets which consists of 6 destroyers, 13 frigates, 10 submarines, 22 coastal patrol craft, 13 mine warfare craft and 2 aircraft carriers. The Royal Navy has put to service the HMS Queen Elizabeth. It is an aircraft carrier, planned to carry 40 F-35B Joint Strike Fighters around the world. 7. France. France is another country to follow Germany's lead because, in 2013, it took the decision to, effectively, freeze its military spending, and cut down on the defense jobs by 10% to save money for technologically advanced equipment. Its current military budget stands at $41 billion a year, which is 1.9% of the country's GDP, much below the spending target as set by NATO. Over 268,000 regular force combines with reservists to form a force of about 500,000. It has just over 1,000 aircraft, along with 6,000 ground vehicles. Even if these do not make France a formidable army, its position in the EU and UN, a total 290 nuclear weapons, and significant deployments strengthen the country. Their naval forces boasts almost 70 marine craft which breaks down into 26 warships, 9 submarines, 17 coastal patrol craft and 17 mine warfare craft. 6. South Korea. South Korea shares its border with North Korea, which has an extremely powerful army at its disposal, and hence, is a constant threat to South Korea. But, its offensive neighbor is not its only problem. To meet the increasing armament of China and Japan, South Korea has been increasing its defense expenditure, which is now $44 billion. It maintains a large army of over 580,000 active personnel and 3.1 million additional personnel in the reserve, alongside the sixth largest air force with more than 1,400 aircraft, which breaks down into 414 fighter jets, 71 dedicated attack craft, 803 transport helicopters, 112 attack chopper and 30 special mission craft. An estimate of 188 South Korean naval ships keeps their coast on guard, with 2 aircraft carriers, 12 destroyers, 18 frigates, 12 corvettes, 22 submarines, more than 100 coastal patrol boat and 11 mine warfare craft. The country has about 15,000 land weapons, including rocket systems, as well as 2,614 tanks. It routinely participates in military training with the U.S. 5. Japan. Japan was the land of samurais, and Japan was a leading military force in WW2. Interestingly, its peace treaty at the end of WW2 prohibits it from having an offensive army. In response to its growing disputes with the ever-expanding China, Japan started military expansion, first time in 40 years, placing new base on outer islands. It increased its military spending to $49 billion, the world's sixth highest. It has over 247,000 active personnel and almost 60,000 in reserve. With 1,595 aircraft, it is the fifth largest air force. The army is also equipped with 131 warships. Besides, through its recent defense initiatives, it maintains a solid military presence in Asia. 4. India. India has put its massive population to use, and built an army of a sizable 3.5 million, including 1.4 million active military. The huge size of the Indian military is one of the reasons why it has always remained among the countries with best armies in the world. The man force of the army is complemented by almost 14,000 land vehicles, which include 4,292 tanks, as well as 1,785 aircraft, alongside nuclear weapons. Its ballistic missiles can hit all of Pakistan or most of China. Its current defense budget stands at $61 billion, but it is expected to rise, in a drive to modernize the military power and become the fourth highest spender by 2020. It is the world's largest military goods importer. 3. China. China, the most powerful country in Asia and a growing adversary to the US, ranks third on this list. The communist superpower has an estimated active personnel of 2,183,000, the largest in the world. China has been building out its navy in recent years while engaging in territorial disputes across the South China Sea. Today, they have 74 submarines, 52 frigates and 36 destroyers. On land, China has 33,000 armored vehicles and 3,500 tanks. Their air force has amassed 1,232 fighter aircraft and 281 attack helicopters. China is in possession of about 300 nuclear weapons, alongside 180 different methods of their deployment. China recently acquired sensitive information about the new F-35, and is noted for successfully stealing sensitive military technology. China is rightly among the top 3 armed forces. China is estimated to spend $237 billion on its armed forces in 2020. 2. Russia. Russia's defense budget stands at $48 billion, and is expected to grow 44% more in the next 3 years. In fact, the military spending of Kremlin has increased by about a third since 2008, especially since Vladimir Putin took hold of Russia in 2000. Dominating both Europe and Asia continents, it has the whole population of 145 million. The annual GDP growth of Russia is projected at 1 to 3% every year, and last year, it generated a total GDP of $1.7 trillion. The GDP per population is measured at $28,797. Its estimated over 1 million active personnel, on land, are in charge of commanding 27,000 armored vehicles, 6,083 units of self-propelled artillery and 3,860 rocket projectors. In the skies, Russia's Air Force has 873 fighter aircraft and 531 attack helicopters. On sea, they have 62 submarines, 105 warships and 48 mine warfare craft. 1. The United States of America. Last but not least, the United States of America, in the other continent of the world, is known to be the most powerful military in the world. With a relatively small population of only 329.2 million, it has managed to generate the most GDP in the world for its people. The number even surpasses China and Russia, coming to the top rank of $20.5 trillion annually. This means that the GDP per population is up to $62,869. The military spending budget in the United States is also a surprisingly large number. It is estimated that the United States of America has spent approximately $3,794 billion each year, which is almost 2,000% of China's budget on military power. More importantly, it is worth mentioning that the United States of America is one of the largest firepower suppliers in the world. It has the Power Index score of 0.0606, which is far higher than the second and third rank, Russia and China. The US implements cutting-edge technology like the Navy's new railgun, and the country also has 7,500 nuclear warheads at its disposal. No wonder it is #1 military force since WW2. America has more air units than any other country on Earth, with 2,085 fighters, 967 attack helicopters, 945 transports and 742 special mission aircraft. The US also leads the world with more than 39,000 armored vehicles, 91 Navy destroyers, and 20 aircraft carriers. It has an estimated 1.4 million active personnel. Washington has allocated $750 billion to the US military budget in 2020. To sum up with today's video, above are the top 10 most powerful militaries that can be seen in the world. They have a huge size of land mass or comparative geographical advantage, considerably large nationwide population and great amount of money spent on the military spending budget. This is the reason why they can perfect their military system to become the most advanced and powerful country in the world.